Gert Sellheim was born in Estonia in 1901 to Bruno and Helen, both of German descent. Growing up in what was the Russian Empire, Gert fought in the Estonian War of Independence, also known as the Estonian Liberation War, a defensive campaign of the Estonian army and its allies, most notably the White Russians, the Northwestern Army, Latvia, and the United Kingdom, against the Soviet Western Front offensive. Gert and his family, which included 3 younger siblings, fled and settled in Germany. Gert began to study architecture in Berlin, Munich, Graz, Vienna, and Paris, where he gained a great understanding in areas of classical architecture and modernist movements in Bauhaus and Art Deco. The Bauhaus movement originated as a German school of arts in the early 20th century and was founded by Walter Gropius, where it eventually morphed into its own modern art movement, characterized by its unique approach to architecture design. Bauhaus's translation literally translates to construction house. Art Deco was also a modern movement in the decorative arts and architecture that originated in 1920 and developed into a major style in Western Europe and the United States during the 1930s. Its products included both individually crafted luxuries and mass-produced wares, where its main intention was to create a sleek and anti-traditional elegance that symbolized wealth and sophistication. Afterwards, Gert began working in various studios, where his earliest known graphic was a book cover for a book called Unendlich Weiten, published in 1927. With Germany's economic downfall after the First World War, Gert decided to leave his family and was on the lookout for a new beginning and a more fruitful life. He left in August of 1926, travelling to London in the hopes of finding a new job. However, after 2 months in London, he was unsuccessful. He then made another big decision to leave London and continue his search for a better life. He boarded the SS Jervis Bay, bound for Perth, Australia. Gert arrived in Perth on the 23rd of December 1926, with high hopes of working as an architect. However, due to his lack of English, he was not considered by authorities. To get his conversational language up, Gert found work as a labourer on a wheat farm near Pingley, approximately 150 kilometres east of Perth. After working at a wheat farm for 2 years, Gert finally was registered as an architect on the 21st of May 1929. He then joined R.H. Alsop and F.J. Glennon as a site architect for the University of Western Australia. A year after, Gert decided to make a move away from Perth to the eastern side of Australia. In 1930, Gert touched down in Melbourne, where he then opened an architecture, industrial, and commercial art studio. He worked alongside other notable designers such as Percy Tromp, James Northfield, and Douglas Anand. Gert began producing posters for the Australian National Travel Association, the forerunner for Tourism Australia. The idea was to create a strategy to enable people to visualise the story of Australia's emergence as a modern nation of the future. Soon after producing multiple posters, it became very successful, with many of his posters appearing in travel offices around the world. With the 1930s to 1940s being considered the golden age of Australia, Sellheim's posters made a cutting-edge approach and had a strong, playful Art Deco influence. This represents his modern take on Australia, depicting the rich, luxury, and the many technological advancements made to what he saw as modern Australia. In Sellheim's poster titled Australia Surf Club, promoting the safety of swimming and surfing, which became very popular in the early 20th century as a recreational and pastime sport. Sellheim uses linear compositions to illustrate lifesavers participating in a routine reel and line rescue exercise, as well as modern principles of less is more, and he evokes the spirit of the times through his depiction of Australia's surf culture. Sellheim incorporates these modern elements and principles within his design by keeping his design simple and using many shapes and forms, as well as bright colours to contrast with the geometric design of the women. His work also is a way to look forward for Australian culture and how it is moving forward just like the rest of the world. Another poster Sellheim designed for the Australian National Travel Association, titled Australia for Sun and Surf, was also a modernist composition where it incorporated a photograph of a female running through the beach with the main heading in red to stand out from the gradient sand background. Sellheim again uses the modernist principles of less is more by keeping the poster as simple as possible, but also showing everything that is necessary to showcase the new Australian surf culture to the world. Travel posters began to use these motifs throughout the following decades by further showcasing major landmarks and tourist attractions to the world by creating these simple but effective posters. Other notable travel posters, such as Western Australia poster in 1936 by Percy Trump, showed a different vision of Australia moving away from the beaches and to the vast countryside of Western Australia. The poster depicts a young girl in a bright yellow dress standing on top of a grassy hill with an armful of flowers. This shows the progression of Western Australia transforming into a modern city, a utopia perhaps, centered around the new industrial technology. Gert then ventured north to Sydney in 1947, where he then established Gert Sellheim Design, located on Barrack Street, before relocating to George Street, with a home studio in Lane Cove. Sellheim's first major project was to design a new logo for Qantas Empire Airways to help promote the airline to other nations, mainly to the United Kingdom. After working on many designs, 6 pencil sketches of kangaroos with wings were presented on a piece of paper, with Gert pointing to the one he thought they would go for. And they did. The first iconic flying kangaroo appeared on the airline's newest fleet of planes, the Lockheed Constellation, in late 1947. The Qantas Airways logo has been improved and reworked to match and suit with the time, but Gert's original design can still be identified when looking at the logo. The iconic flying kangaroo is one of the world's most recognizable airline logos, and Gert worked with Qantas Airways right up until the 1960s, producing stationery, posters, menus, and various illustrations showcasing Australia to the world. Gert passed away on the 3rd of January 1970, aged 69, in his Sydney home. Gert's poster design truly did inspire the next generation of modern designs. With the world changing and the development of the internet and television, advertisements needed to be more eye-catching and modern to appeal to the audience. The idea of less is better, used in the majority of Gert Sellheim's posters, has been used in all modern designs. The techniques Sellheim uses are still used to this day. Modern techniques by adding contrast and colour and keeping as minimal as possible with the intention of less is better in mind is used in almost every single advertisement shown around Australia and the world. Gert Sellheim's style when designing the Australian National Travel Association posters is still relevant and appealing to this day.